The final stretch of the tennis season usually brings a mixture of exhaustion and anticipation. For Carlos Alcaraz, however, it means something entirely different: transformation. When the 22-year-old Spaniard boarded his flight to Paris this week, before a single ball had been hit, one detail captured everyone's attention: the platinum blonde hair. Once again, Alcaraz had decided to change not just his appearance, but in a sense, his energy. It wasn't the first time he did this. A month after winning the 2025 U.S. Open, Alcaraz fulfilled a promise he had made during the summer swing. "If I win New York, I'll go blonde." He did, returning to Spain with a lighter tone and a brighter smile to match the trophy in his hands. That image, rebellious, confident, unbothered, became a symbol of belief and reinvention. Now, as the ATP calendar heads into its most decisive period, the Paris Masters, the ATP Finals in Turin, and the Davis Cup Finals, the world number one has returned to that striking image, perhaps as a ritual before battle. The timing of the transformation was no accident. Just before his flight to France, he made the change, and the message was clear. A new chapter begins. For Alcaraz, Paris means more than another Masters 1000. It's a statement of intent, a chance to lock in the year-end number one once and for all. Few titles in tennis define dominance as strongly as finishing a season on top. It means not just explosive brilliance, but relentless consistency. Alcaraz's 2025 has already been remarkable. Multiple titles, long winning streaks, and a level of maturity that has separated him from every other player. But despite leading the rankings, he knows the mission is far from over. Turin and Málaga remain ahead, the two final peaks. Inside his team, the change in look is seen as more than vanity. It's a mental reset, a way to signal that the grind of the season hasn't dulled his ambition. Observers who attended his training sessions in Valencia before departure described a sharper, more grounded Alcaraz, a player who seemed to be rediscovering his edge. His forehand, that whip-like explosion that bends physics, looked violent again. His serve, once a weak point, has become a weapon. And above all, his attitude radiated hunger. The hunger was back. That drive had briefly been questioned after his victory in New York. Success can be deceptive, comforting yet dangerous. After lifting the trophy at Arthur Ashe Stadium, many wondered if fatigue or satisfaction would slow him down through the Asian tour. In fact, he played fewer events, prioritizing recovery instead of chasing points. Now, that break looks perfectly timed. For Alcaraz, the Paris Masters isn't just another tournament. It's Act 1 of a three-part finale. Win here, carry momentum into Turin, and finish the year leading Spain to Davis Cup glory. Each step feeds the next. And that hair. Perhaps it's superstition, perhaps psychology, but among elite athletes, these small rituals matter. They serve as anchors, as switches of identity. For Alcaraz, it's about stepping into a mindset of clarity, lightness, and focus. The indoor season is a different world. Fast courts, low bounce, brutal pace. It's a place where hesitation is punished. But it's also where creativity thrives. Few combine aggression, improvisation, and emotional control like Alcaraz does. In Paris, he'll face not only a strong field, Sinner, Fritz, Medvedev, Djokovic, but also the invisible pressure of expectation. He carries the hopes of a generation, and yet, his demeanor remains the same. Smiling, calm, unshakable. When he lands at Accor Arena, cameras flash and crowds cheer. But the Spaniard doesn't flinch. He's been here before, the spotlight, the tension, the weight of being number one. Only this time, the stage feels different. Indoor tennis is a test of instinct and timing, and those are the elements in which Alcaraz has always thrived. For the next 3 weeks, Paris, Turin, Málaga, every city will test a different layer of his identity. Glory, endurance, pride. The platinum hair may look like a style choice, but it's really a declaration. Carlos Alcaraz is ready for the final charge. Preparation has always been the backbone of Carlos Alcaraz's success. Behind the charisma, the highlight reels, and the spontaneous joy on court lies a meticulous process, built day after day, rep after rep, long before he steps under the lights. His return to the practice courts before Paris wasn't just about rhythm, it was about rebuilding intensity. After a grueling season that spanned from the hard courts of North America to the clay of Europe, Alcaraz and his team focused on restoring the foundation that sustains champions: physical sharpness and mental clarity. His longtime mentor and coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero, knows this balance better than anyone. For Ferrero, the challenge with Alcaraz is not motivation, it's energy distribution. Managing when to push, when to pause, and when to let the mind breathe. The pre-para sessions were shorter but more explosive, bursts of intensity rather than long grinds. They emphasized reaction drills, serve placement, and forehand acceleration, all tuned to the faster indoor conditions of the Accor Arena. Each day, Alcaraz trained under simulated match environments. Lighting adjusted to mimic the indoor glare. Sound recordings of crowd noise played during points. Every detail aimed to replicate the conditions he would face in Paris, because at the highest level, mastery is about adaptation. Observers noticed subtle tactical evolution in his play. Alcaraz, known for his baseline aggression, has become far more versatile. His transition to the net has grown smoother, blending speed with finesse in a way reminiscent of all-court legends. The short slice, once used sparingly, now serves as a weapon, forcing opponents to break rhythm and giving him the opening to unleash his signature forehand. Even his serve patterns have evolved. More first serves aimed at the body, more unpredictability, more control over chaos. But the most important preparation doesn't show up on paper. It's psychological. Being world number one changes the entire ecosystem around a player. Every opponent brings their best version, every tournament magnifies scrutiny. Alcaraz understands this dynamic. He's no longer the hunter, he's the hunted. And yet, that realization hasn't burdened him, it's refined him. The platinum blonde hair, though external, serves as a reminder. A symbolic reset, the visual cue that he decides when to reinvent himself. It's not vanity, it's psychology. It tells him, you're in control of your story. After his US Open triumph, Alcaraz intentionally disappeared from the spotlight for a few weeks. He skipped optional tournaments, focusing instead on recovery and recalibration. He spent time in Murcia and Villena, reconnecting with his roots, training quietly, rebuilding from within, hitting balls on empty courts, helping younger players at his academy, laughing freely between drills. Those moments reignited his fire. By the time his Paris journey began, that spark had become laser-focused determination. Within his circle, they call this state the quiet storm. Relaxed on the outside, ruthless underneath. He jokes with his team, smiles for photos, but when the session starts, silence, precision, obsession. Physically, he is near peak form. His movement, that signature glide across the court, remains among the sharpest in the game. The ability to slide indoors without losing balance, to pivot mid-rally and redirect pace, few can match it. Recent physical tests showed sprint metrics identical to those recorded at the start of the season. That level of conditioning allows him to turn defense into offense in a single heartbeat, a skill that has defined his rise. Yet, Alcaraz knows Paris offers a unique challenge. The indoor swing arrives when most players are physically drained. The courts are faster, rallies shorter, reactions sharper. It's a test of efficiency and instinct, not endurance. For that reason, his team has shifted the focus, less on volume, more on explosive reaction training. His physical coach, Antonio Cascales, redesigned his gym program. Shorter sessions, higher bursts, more emphasis on fast-twitch muscle activation. Instead of long cardio, he practices micro-movements, explosive takeoffs, balance control, and rapid recovery between points. Every repetition has intent. Every drill connects directly to what he will face under the indoor lights. The goal isn't just to play well, it's to stay razor-sharp without crossing the fatigue line. This attention to detail has already paid dividends throughout 2025. Alcaraz has become one of the most consistent closers on the tour. His endurance in long matches, his composure after tight sets, and his ability to recover overnight, all have reached elite levels. These traits are what separate good players from season-long champions. Inside the locker room, dynamics are shifting. Players like Jannik Sinner and Daniil Medvedev have developed a respectful but fierce rivalry with Alcaraz, not built on hostility, but on mutual competitiveness. Every encounter between them feels like a chess match played at 200 kilometers per hour. Sinner's precision against Alcaraz's improvisation. Medvedev's defense against his creativity. Each duel redefines modern tennis, and each time, Alcaraz stands at the center of this new era. He's not just a competitor. He's a symbol of transition, the bridge between the old guard and the new frontier. And as Paris approaches, that symbolism grows stronger. The platinum hair may draw attention, but the real transformation is internal. He's evolved from prodigy to professional, from contender to cornerstone. The message is simple yet unmistakable. Carlos Alcaraz isn't chasing the spotlight. He is the spotlight. When Carlos Alcaraz steps onto the center court of the Accor Arena, the air itself seems to shift. The murmur of the crowd becomes a low, vibrating hum, the kind you feel more in your chest than in your ears. His platinum blonde hair catches the light, and for a moment, everything else fades. The scoreboard, the cameras, the rituals. Then comes the first strike, sharp, clean, and pure tennis takes over. The opening rounds unfold with a sense of quiet control. No unnecessary fireworks, just clarity. His first serve cuts deep into the body, neutralizing even the best returners. The second serve opens the angles, setting up that lethal forehand cross-court. On the return, Carlos stands half a step closer than he did in summer. A precise adjustment for a surface that rewards the first strike. Short points, efficient rallies, and a one-point-at-a-time mentality keep his energy low and his rhythm high. He leaves the court after each match with clean scorelines and minimal time spent under the lights, a masterclass in management. In the round of 16, the friction rises. A fearless indoor power hitter stands across the net, swinging free. Alcaraz adapts instantly. Fewer mid-pace rallies, more changes of height with sharp backhand slices, and timely net approaches. A pair of tie breaks measure the nerves. That's where the champion emerges. 2 blocked returns drop dead at the opponent's feet. A forehand down the line kisses the paint. Fist clenched. A single shout toward his box. No excess, only authority. By the quarterfinals, the tournament turns into chess at 200 kilometers per hour. Control versus improvisation. Ferrero, calm on the bench, signals for height and patience. Carlos executes the drill they've repeated since Villena. A deep neutral ball to the center, a loopy high shot to steal timing, and a sprinting forehand winner. The break comes late, but it comes. The emotional discipline, the breathing, the ritual glance to the floor, separates him from the rest. The semifinal is all speed and tension. Every second matters. The margin for error disappears. Alcaraz wins by small solutions, a wide serve to save breakpoint, a chip return to extend the rally, a surprise serve and volley to steal momentum. It's not perfection that gets him through. It's timing, the art of being right when it matters. He survives, and that's what champions do. The final becomes an amphitheater of long rallies and microscopic details. The arena goes dark except for the white beams over the court. Every sound echoes, the strings, the steps, the collective gasp. There are moments that belong to highlight reels forever. A drop shot that dies twice, a counterpassing shot on the stretch, a sliding forehand that flips defense into offense. Beyond the score, which matters, yet doesn't, one truth crystallizes. Alcaraz has mastered the language of indoor tennis. He doesn't just win points. He manages moments. That's the difference between talent and legacy. As Paris ends, another chapter begins. Turin. The surface changes. Slower bounce. Heavier air. The mindset adjusts. Recovery starts within hours. Cryotherapy, hydration cycles, explosive gym work. Ferrero and the team rebuild rhythm while avoiding fatigue. The goal: keep the edge sharp without crossing the line of exhaustion. The ATP Finals demand a new kind of discipline. 3 matches in the group stage. No room for emotional hangovers. Alcaraz alternates between Plan A, aggression and first ball dominance, and Plan B, height, variation, and serve and volley sequences that disrupt rhythm. The stats say his serve wins him points. The eyes say his mind wins him matches. Where he once forced, he now chooses. Where he once chased, he now dictates. By the semi-finals, fatigue arrives disguised as hesitation. Legs heavy, reflexes slower, but only slightly. That's when the hidden work of a full season appears. Breathing between points, tapping his shoes to reset, locking eyes with Ferrero, every ritual lowers his pulse. The body might be tired, but the mind is razor sharp. If he reaches the final, he does so not just with skill, but with authority. And then comes Málaga, the Davis Cup, the final act. The atmosphere changes completely. From I to we. Alcaraz leads not as the star, but as the heartbeat. He practices with teammates, advises in doubles, cheers from the bench. There are no ATP points here, only pride, nation, and legacy. For him, it's a different kind of fuel. Every roar from the Spanish fans echoes the kid who once dreamed of these stages. Through it all, the platinum hair keeps shining, not vanity, but symbol. It anchors him to the memory of New York, the victory that reignited his fire. In elite sport, small rituals become mental switches. His new look isn't rebellion, it's a reset. As the 2025 season fades, the record speaks for itself. Tactical evolution, emotional control, physical mastery, and leadership beyond his age. The trophies are only the surface. Beneath them lies a structure, a method that turned a prodigy into a sustained force. When the final lights of the indoor season dim, one phrase lingers in the air, echoing through every arena he's conquered. One more point. One more day. Seasons aren't won in a moment, they're built.